Right, well, this is the Darts with Jack podcast, as I'm sure you are aware of, and today, it's just a normal podcast. I'm sorry, I've not got a guest for this week. However, I am really happy to announce that after the recent success of interviews with Tom Sykes, the recent success of interviews with Travis Cullen, and the darts referee, that we have... That's where I got confused. We have on the podcast next week the absolutely amazing Jared Cole, who obviously hit the 9 darter at Modus, and he'll be playing in the influencer event on Sunday, and I'll be really happy to have him on the podcast next week. So we'll look forward to that. But it's been a busy week in the world of darts. We have had Women's Series, we've had Euro Tour, I've got MSS to talk about. Euro Tour this week. We've had the Premier League. It is going to be a long episode. It is going to be an absolutely amazing episode, guys. So, without further ado, well, first of all, I'm going to leave all my links in the description. I obviously don't pressure anyone into following them, but I'd be really appreciative if you could. It means a great deal to the channel and the podcast if you do. So, without further ado, let's get into the first segment of today's episode, which is going to be the Women's Series. Right, so for those of you who don't know, the Women's Series has absolutely thrived this year, especially last year actually, and it's built up, and now you have a streaming board obviously on PDC TV, which is great. And I've been away this weekend, or last weekend obviously, so it was great to watch the great standard that was the Women's Series, and it was a really good week. Beau Greaves was pretty dominant. Obviously, she won 2 of the titles. Mikuru Suzuki picking up 1 and Noelin van Leuven picking up 1. But I'm going to pick out some of what I think are the star performers. Obviously, you have the likes of Fallon Sherrock, Beau Greaves herself, Mikuru, Noelin van Leuven, Lisa Ashton obviously stand out. But a couple of people who really outdid themselves were Robin Byrne this week played really well. Laura Turner. I'm got biased towards Laura Turner because I use her darts and I think she's great. And the likes of Eleanor Cairns getting a couple of runs. But yes, so I'm going to go from the quarterfinals of these. So, Lisa Ashton in the, this is Women's Series 5. Lisa Ashton beat Fallon Sherrock 5-2 with a 96 average in the end for Lisa. Beau Greaves beat Maria O'Brien with an 87.38 average, 5-0. Rhian O'Sullivan, one of the big names in female darts, did win with an 80.18 average, beating Lorraine Winstanley with an 80.68 average. Noelin van Leuven, 85.13, beating Leanne Topper with a 71.96 average. In the semi-finals, Beau Greaves beat Lisa Ashton 5-3 with an 86.86 average, and Lisa only averaging 79.49. And in the semi-final, it was an absolute dominance from Noelin van Leuven, winning 5-1 against Rhian O'Sullivan with a 90.99 average. This was one of the greatest finals, or certainly I think probably the greatest final of women's darts I've watched in a while. This was... it was a crazy game. Van Leuven averaging 90.65 and Greaves 91.36. Listen to this. Beau Greaves went 4-0 up. She'd been dominant in this event. People thought she was just going to have an easy 5-0 win. No. Absolutely not. So, what happened is Van Leuven has an absolutely incredible checkout. I think it was a 156. Ignore me if I am wrong. I cannot quite remember. Amazing 156 checkout from Van Leuven, and she rallied and she won 5-4 in the end, and it was just absolutely incredible. So absolutely tops to Van Leuven there. And that was Women's Series Event 5. So, in Women's Series Event 06, let me just get that up. Obviously on the same day, because that's how it works in the Women's Series. On Women's Series 6, it was the best player in women's darts at the moment. Where's it gone? I'll have to get it up from here. Sorry, my fingers glitched. It was obviously the incredible Beau Greaves who took the win in this game. 5-1 in the final, but let's go back to the quarters. In the quarters, Beau beat McCurry 5-3. Van Leuven beat Byrne 5-4 in the last leg decider. Ashton beat De Graaf 5-3. And Gemma Hayter beat Fallon Sherrick. Gemma Hayter had a great weekend. That she was one of the ones I was going to pick up on. In the semis, it was Ashton 5, Hayter 2. And it was Greaves 5, Van Leuven 0, getting her revenge. Beau getting her revenge on Van Leuven in that game. And in the final, it was Beau Greaves 5, Lisa Ashton 1. That was all of Saturday's games. When we look at Sunday's games, obviously it was women's events 7 and 8. In Women's Series 7, the quarterfinals were Robin Byrne 5, Rhiannon Sullivan 2, Beau Greaves 5, Wendy Ryan Stadler, that's really sorry if I've got their name wrong, 5-0, Greaves averaging 95.13. Mikuru Suzuki beat Rose Mort 5-4, and Fallon Sherrick with an 85.82 average beat Lorraine Winstanley, one of the great female players of darts, 5-3. In the semi-finals, sorry, just having a drink. Beau Greaves beat Robin Byrne 5-0. Sherrick beat Suzuki 5-2. Good average there from Sherrick, 88.13. Beau Greaves in the final against Fallon Sherrick won 5-0, averaging 98.88. An absolutely blowing, incredible average from Beau Greaves there. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jack, she hasn't dropped a leg so far. In Women's Series Event 07, Beau Greaves did not drop a single leg. Not a single leg. And for reference on how many legs this is, 4, 8, 12, 16, 21, 26. That's 31 legs in a row. That's phenomenal from any player. I'm just going to double check that. That's incredible. 10, 15, 19, 23, 27, 31. Yeah, 31 legs in a row. Phenomenal from any player in Event 07. And as we look at Event 08, it wasn't dissimilar. Obviously, she dropped some legs, but oh God, she dropped some legs. Oh no. She's so incredible. She's absolutely incredible. And she said, and I heard this from Glenn Durrant on comms, obviously she puts a lot down of her, she puts a lot of her success down on her her sister Bobby, who travels around with her all the time, which is just incredible. In the final, Beau Greaves didn't get started on Event Series 8 with Mikuru Suzuki beating her 5-1. But in the quarterfinals, it was Noah Lynn Van Leuven 5, Sherrick 3 with an 89 average for Van Leuven. Greaves 5, Hayter 2. Once again, Hayter reaching the quarterfinals. An 88 average for Greaves there. Suzuki 5, Dieter Hedman 4. Suzuki almost hitting an 80 average in that one. And Lisa Ashton 5, Robin Byrne 2. But yes, in the final it was Mikuru Suzuki with her trusted double 18, which kept her in hand. This moves me on to talk about the modus for this week. And I bet you're wondering why I'm talking about modus. I don't usually talk about modus. I do when there's big names in it because it's always good. There's certainly some big names in it this week. Beau Greaves. Recognise that name. It was her debut at modus this week, and she dominated on her first night. She kicks off with her second night in Group B, I believe, in 4 hours' time. Is it Group B? Yeah, I think it's Group B. But yes, these were the stats from Beau Greaves last night. She beat Kevin Painter 4-1 with a 1-4-3 checkout. She then beat R. Collins 4-1. She then beat Adam Lipscomb 4-2, threatening a great performance there. Sorry, not threatening. I was about to say in her next match against Sebastian Bialecki, who many of you know, threatened the 9. I believe, did she hit a 170? I think she hit a 170 at some point. Let me just double check that one for you. But yes, she was playing absolutely incredible in the modus. And yeah, it's been great really to get that absolute proper the talent that Beau has finally competing with the likes of the likes of Bielecki, Kevin Painter, an absolute legend, a veteran on the dart stage. So that was the modus and the women's series for this weekend. So let's now go and talk about the European Tour from last weekend and the European Tour from this weekend. So, European Tour 4. Great European Tour. The likes of, I'll just go through some of the highlight performances. I'm just going to find out. Sindelfingen, this is where this Euro Tour was. Some of the key results: Scott Williams beating Nico Springer 6-1. Cullen didn't play as well as he could have against Engstrom, who did beat him 6-1. And then if we look at the Saturday, I'm going to just focus in on the Saturday. Some of the good performances. Ross Smith played well all weekend. Bunting beat Searle with a tops checkout, I believe, to win 6-5. Noppert playing Gurney. They play each other so much. This is interesting, actually. Clayton beat Dobie 6-5. Clayton and Dobie seem to play each other week in, week out on the Euro Tour. I know it astounds some people, and it certainly astounds me. Gary Anderson playing incredibly. Littler losing to Humphreys, I believe. Is it one of the first times since the World Championship final? It might even be the first time. In the quarters, final, semi-final, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the quarters, Gary Anderson beat Josh Rock 6-5. Rob Cross beat Luke Humphrey 6-2. I bet Rob Cross wishes that was on the Premier League stage. Ross Smith 6, Damon Head to 5, Van Goen 6, Clemens 3. I really wanted Clemens to get through that one. In the semi-finals, it was Anderson 7, Cross 5, Ross Smith 7, Van Goen 6. Gary Anderson winning his first Euro Tour title in over a decade, I believe, beating Ross Smith 8-6, a 90 average for Gary Anderson in that one. And an 80-something average a 90 average again, I believe. My computer is just turned off, so I'm really sorry about that one. But I believe it was a good average for Ross Smith in the final. European Tour 5 in Graz this weekend. The draw is looking juicy. We already have some of the round 2 draws confirmed. I'm not going to spoil any results. The first session has happened, but some good ties are looking like D'Souza Van Veen. I think Graham Hall, Chris Dobie could be a great game. Schindler versus James Wade is an absolute cracker. And Vandenberg Clemens play together against each other, once again. And Van Barneveld de Decker. It's looking like an absolutely stacked Friday night session. When we look at the Saturday, the confirmed fixtures so far. In Cullen, Darius Labanaskus beat Madars Razma. Today. Oh, I've just bought it. It's fine. And interestingly enough, Labanaskus and Razma were staying in the same room together, which is, I don't know if that's happened. If that has, feel free to comment. But yeah, really funny. And so bets on. I don't do betting, but I think it's going to be a great Euro Tour. Joe Cullen's going to have a run. I'm telling you. Watch this space. Joe Cullen is going to have a really good run this weekend. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I know he is. Let's talk about the Premier League, which went on yesterday in Liverpool, the great city of Liverpool, where the Beatles came from, and that was evident in Peter Wright's walk-on. But Littler gesturing the Everton score. I'm an Everton fan, so if any Liverpool fans are watching, you might want to turn the podcast down for a second, but it was 2-0 to the Mighty Blues. Littler 6, Going Price 3 in a game which Price didn't really kick off on. Aspinall 6, Humphreys 2. Aspinall's had an absolutely great Premier League season. I think he's going to go on to do a lot more in the Premier League as well. Van Goen 6, Peter Wright 3. Peter Wright was just playing some absolutely incredible stuff in this. He averaged 98 in the end, Peter Wright, with 3 180s. Lovely darts from Peter Wright. I think he would feel unlucky to have not got any further in this week's Premier League. This was followed by Cross 6, Michael Smith 4, which really does dent Michael Smith's hopes of making it into the playoffs. The table's separated a little bit now. In the semi-finals, Aspinall missed loads of match darts to beat Littler. So Littler won 6-5 in that one. Cross beat Van Goen 6-2. And in the final, it was Littler 6, Rob Cross 2. Wasn't the most amazing final, but I'll still read you out the stats. 105 Watching it wasn't the most amazing, but obviously the stats disagree with me. 105 average for Littler compared to an 100 from Cross. 111 lovely checkout from Littler. Over 50% on the doubles for Littler compared to a third. For Rob Cross, 16. Well, the best stats to really go on is but 2 180s for both of them. So that is all the darts talk. I have probably bored you to death, but it's for the love of the game. This has been the Darts with Jack podcast. I'm going to leave all of my links in the description below, and I'd absolutely love all of you to listen next week, especially when we have the amazing Jared Cole, who hit a 9-darter in the Modus a couple of weeks ago. This has been the Darts with Jack podcast, and I'll see you all next week. Good night. No. Have a good rest of your weekend, day, whenever you're watching. See you later.